Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I want to try and pick up where I left off. If you haven't seen the first video, definitely take a look at the first video. It's going to give you a little bit of introduction of what went on in my life back in 2021. Rather than to bore you guys with all the small details, I do want to get into the kind of knit and grit of open heart surgery and what to expect. So obviously we talked about fear. Fear is going to be the biggest thing that you're going to overcome, and you will overcome it. My recommendations, ask questions. I mean, write them down on a note tablet, put notes in your phone, do something. Because once that fear kicks in and you walk in to meet your surgeon, your brain's just gonna, you're gonna forget. So write them down. I can't recommend surgeons, obviously. Just as a quick recap, I am a patient. I am not a medical surgeon. I am not a medical doctor. This is all from a patient's perspective. So I'm in no way, shape, or form giving advice. I'm just trying to get out information of what to expect and some questions that you really need to ask. So we talk about open heart surgery. There's tons of open heart surgery out there. You've got cardiovascular disease, you have valvular disease, if I even said that right. You've got aortic aneurysms. You have, just the list goes on and on. You have holes in your heart. Just going back to valves, you got aortic valve, mitral valve, pulmonary valve. There's all kinds of stuff in your heart where you might need open heart surgery one day. For me, going back to the doctor, he asked me if I felt a little strange. Yeah, a little bit, but I do work a lot. I'm a workaholic. I'm not going to lie. We all know it's tough to survive in this world, and in order to do it, you got to work. So, excuse me. So I just kind of chalked it up to, I'm just working too much. Moving forward, after they did an echocardiogram, doctor calls, says, hey, we have a problem with your aortic valve. So what was wrong with my aortic valve? I had what's called a bicuspid aortic valve, meaning I only had just 2 leaflets, and you're supposed to have 3. Most people are born with 3. I had 2. What happens is over time that starts to calcify, and where you don't get the whole lub-dub coming from your heart, you get more of a whooshing noise where the water or the blood's just kind of like whooshing through it. Well, it got calcified. And so when it came down to meeting with the surgeon, you go through just an enormous amount of testing, from EKGs, echocardiograms. They do what's that called? I can't remember. I did remember it's a heart cath. So, nowadays you can get heart cath 2 different ways. They can go through your arm and they can go through your groin. Well, they went through my arm and they went through my groin. I can't remember which did what. But I also had a CT done, a CAT scan done with contrast. Tried to get a hold of the cardiologist, and mind you, I don't use this cardiologist anymore, but he wouldn't return my calls, so I started getting a little freaked out. After they did the, I just forgot the name of it again, heart cath, he came in and told me, he says, hey, just to let you know, you need to really restrict on what you're lifting. You have a large aneurysm on your aorta. All right, so you talk about it, scared before, now I'm really scared. So, in a nutshell, I got referred to a surgeon, fantastic surgeon. If you look him up, he's one of the top surgeons in the United States, if not the world. His name is Dr. Joseph Sabik. He's out of University Hospitals in Cleveland, Ohio. that is one of the things I did look up. I did look up my surgeon, and man, his credentials, incredible. Not to mention his bedside manner. I mean, it's so hard to find a doctor or a surgeon with a good bedside manner these days. And I get it, we're patients, they see tons of them. But I will say the guy was just phenomenal. He sat down with me and I walked in there with a list of like 30 questions. And he kind of chuckled. He says, well, let me get through my spiel, then I'll answer any of your additional questions. Well, he covered most of my questions before I even had a chance to ask him. So moving forward, they scheduled my surgery out. And again, the stress of it and the anxiety of, getting a power of attorney and a living will and all these things going through my mind. But, he really did reassure me that I'm going to be fine. Again, don't forget, it's a science. Not everything is going to go as planned. That's why they call it practicing medicine. They practice what they're doing. They learn from it. So I ended up with I chose to go with a prosthetic aortic valve. The reason why I chose to go with a prosthetic aortic valve was because the tissue valves don't last as long. Being as young as I was, I really didn't want to do this more than one time. There's a lot of different valves out there. You got bovine valve, you got porcine valve. Basically, those are tissue valves. They'll put whatever valve in you that you want, but do your homework. That's the one thing I can't stress enough. Do your homework and ask questions. How long will it last? What do I expect from this? Am I going to be on blood thinners? Just anything you can think of. But the one thing I will tell you is just because you go with a tissue valve doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to be on blood thinners. I'm on blood thinners for the rest of my life. And that's because I use a prosthetic valve. I have a prosthetic valve in me. So that was my choice. And if you hear the ticking noise, I'm going to be really quiet and hopefully you'll hear a clicking noise in your background. What that clicking noise that you hear is actually my heart valve. So I'm going to be quiet for a second and see if you can hear it. Okay, sounds like a clock. Hopefully you guys can hear that. If not, I'll make another video showing it as I can hold it up closer to my heart. So, and then the aneurysm part of it is, I thought, you just go in and fix it, stitch it, reinforce it. No. They remove it and they put in a graft. So it's a graft, some of it's made out of different materials, but I think mine's called gel weave. And I'll try to put a picture of it here, along with my valve, what kind of valve I have, and it's either going to be here or here. I'll find somewhere to put the picture, showing you what is inside of me. Man, sometimes it's just so hard to swallow. Even you're talking 5 years later. It's a tough pill to swallow. And hearing that clicking noise, if I focus on it, for a while, especially when I first woke up and realized where I was at, I'm like, what the hell just happened to me? Well, you get used to it. It's pretty crazy though. Like when you're in a pool, it echoes like through the water, just almost like a dolphin's echo. It's like pretty cool. But yeah, it's pretty unique. And if this is a surgery you're having to have done, congratulations. I believe you're approximately about 2% of the population. So that's the last I was told, 2%. So having a graft done along with a prosthetic valve, 2%. Okay, what caused the aneurysm? People might ask. Basically, because the valve was like putting your thumb over a garden hose, it was squirting out, and created the aneurysm from the pressure. Now, those of you that don't know, your aorta is huge. I never thought it was that big. Mine is, I believe you said 28 millimeters. So take out a 28 millimeter socket, and that's how big it is. You put your thumb in it. So if that blows, your chances of survival they're pretty slim. But there's a lot of people that have survived it. The one person that came to mind was John Ritter. That's what ended up causing the death of John Ritter, the famous comedian from Three's Company and just a whole bunch of movies. So definitely blessed to be here. I don't want to make this video too long. I just want to kind of break it up into sections because I know people have lives and you know, they don't have time to sit and watch a 45-minute, 1-hour video based on heart surgery. But definitely stay tuned. I have more to tell you about the hospital, what to expect when you wake up, and what to expect when during your traditionally about a week stay. What you're going to feel, what you're going to go through, and then we're going to go from that segment into recovery. And once you get to the recovery is when things really start to hit you mentally of what you just went through, how strong of a person you really are. Even though you don't think you are at this point, you feel very vulnerable and scared to death. But stay tuned. If you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe this video. I really appreciate it. Again, this is for me to get the information out to you guys, to explain, you know, what I went through and hopefully help someone else get through the same situation. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below. I will read every comment and I will answer any question that I can. But again, thanks for coming. Thanks for watching my channel, and I hope to see you soon. But for now, I'm going.